Hey everybody, it's me, John Anthony Chihak Soltero. I am the anti-hero, and I'm back again. Like some other channels, I'm probably going to be making a lot more content. I'm not going out. Um, I am still working, so I'm not worried financially or anything like that. The job that I do is social work for older adults, so it is essential in this crazy time. Um, However, I'm not going out to spend time with friends, unfortunately, as I'm hoping none of you are as well, that you're practicing social distancing. Today, actually, it's Sunday. Um, got up and went for a walk around Reed Park, which is the major park here in Tucson. Um, got to see my sister for the first time in a couple of weeks, got to see my dad for the first time in a couple of weeks. And we walked around Reed Park, but we, stayed a good distance apart from each other, which was hard. We're a close knit family. We hug, we give kisses and stuff like that when we see each other. Um, so it was very, very strange because this is the very first time that I've interacted with my family. Not really since then. My mom went with me to my doctor's appointment on this past Monday, a week ago, and we sat in the car next to each other because we drove together. But uh, everything's getting a little more serious here in Tucson. Mayor Romero made a recommendation. I don't believe a mayor has the authority to do an executive order or to enforce it. That non-essential businesses need to shut down, which I definitely concur with because this is something that has just spread like wildfire, and it's something we need to take seriously. So if you're not already practicing social distancing, please do so. If you're not used to being an introvert, if you're not used to being at home, social media and different video sharing platforms and stuff have made it really easy to still stay in contact with your friends and family. It's important to do so for your own well-being, for their well-being. We need to be able to check in on each other and take care of each other, but take care of ourselves during this time. That being said, I didn't want to go into a big tirade, but I did want to say, for those of you who've just got another follower this morning, which is awesome, or another subscriber, I should say. I'm extremely grateful for all the interactions on the videos and all the new subscribers and the likes and the comments and stuff like that. So I greatly appreciate that. What I wanted to talk to you about today, or on this video specifically, is a 4-issue independent miniseries called Wilder. This series was done by a local artist named Vic Hollins. Now, Vic, and I believe I mentioned this in the previous video, Vic went to the same school I went to in terms of college. When I went, it was Art Center Design College. When Vic went about 10 years later, it was it is Southwest University of Visual Arts. This book started out in 2018, finished up in 2019. And for whatever reason, I could have sworn I picked up each issue when they came out. I was missing issue 3. And I was able to, thanks to curbside service from Charlie's Comic Books, pick this up today. Vic is completely out of these on her Etsy store. If you are looking to read this series or you're missing an issue of Wilder, message Charlie, Charlie's Comic Books. You can check in with Heroes and Villains. You can check in, if you're in Albuquerque, Comic Warehouse in Albuquerque may also still have copies. So I wanted to do a review reaction for this book, and I got permission from Vic. This is a wonderful story. First of all, the artwork itself, stunningly beautiful, brightly colored. I actually asked her what her medium was because I thought it was watercolor because it appears to be watercolor. What she did is she did her lines traditionally, but she did them on watercolor paper. So when you read this book, there are parts of white that aren't colored, that you can see the texture of the watercolor paper, which is really cool to me. I like noticing these like details and the little things about artwork and creation like really stick out to me. Vic says that she did all the colors digitally. And so she said that it was like layering and you know, just making it look like it's a watercolor, which is pretty freaking amazing. She used a lot of different brushes, just like you would if you were painting, but doing it digitally is no different. When you read the book, when I read the book, you can tell that it's very, very personal. There's a lot of love put into this story. It is, the dialogue in it is a lot of fun. It's really, I don't know if pithy is the right word, but some of the quotes in here are great. And there's a character, like the best friend of the main character, Bailey. Her name is Val. And during the story, she's talking about like some guy buying her drinks and stuff, which is, or not buying her drinks. But the whole time during the 4 issues when they're talking about, let's go get drinks, they're talking about slushies, which to me is hilarious. But at the same time, like, it's kind of endearing, you know, that it's not something, I don't want to say nefarious, but more just like what you would expect kind of thing. Let me read to you. This is an internal dialogue from the main character, Bailey. This is from issue 3 that I was just able to pick up today. She says, I crave adventure, but I also long for the simplicity of a life where vintage vinyl is all that I'm searching for. I can't say more about that than that line there, because just the dialogue and the way the character is relatable is very endearing, but at the same time is great, because even though the main character is female, I could still feel myself relating to her. And the characters are extremely well-rounded. They're very diverse and different. There is a comic book store in the story that Bailey goes to and meets an individual there. And it shows like a growth. It's only 4 issues long, but it shows a growth from the very, very beginning in issue 1, where you're kind of not expecting the twist at the end of issue 1, but you get that twist at the end of issue 1, and then you get this great character development for the Bailey character. I don't want to spoil a whole lot. I really hope that Vic is going to collect this in a trade paperback. I think it would do really well, especially since issues are sold out all over the place. Very well deserved that it's sold out, because it's a wonderful story. The rhyming fox was really interesting, and that character's dialogue itself was great, because rhyming is not necessarily an easy thing to do, especially when you're selling it as dialogue versus, you know, it's a poem. It doesn't necessarily have to follow a certain ideology or a certain dialogue. Like if it rhymes, you know, that's the way it works. You follow iambic pentameter or, you know, what have you. But doing a rhyming as a dialogue kind of recalled me to Etrigan the Demon, although maybe this fox is almost as dark and nefarious as Etrigan the Demon. So I highly recommend it if you have the means, if you are able to pick up copies of the book, or definitely follow Vic on Instagram. You can also follow Wilder the Comic on Instagram. And I would say what you should do is, if you're a fan of indie comics, definitely support her work, her watercolors, her oil paintings. She is the one who did a piece for the upcoming Bubba Patrol issue 3. There are plans how to use that artwork. I am not going to show it off just yet. It is an amazing piece, and it's going to be used extremely well. And I've got some really good plans for it. And I'm just glad that she agreed to do a piece and be a part of the mythos and the lore of the Bubba Patrol. So definitely follow Vic Hollins Art on Instagram. I'm going to put the IG handles in the description below. I'm not sure if she's doing commissions right now. She was going out and about and doing meeting with the public and showing them how to do, use certain paints and paintbrushes and techniques and tutorials and things like that. And she's not doing that right now, especially with all the social distancing. It might be a while before we do that. So definitely support independent artists, message her, check out her work. And then if from the descriptions and the images that you see on the Wilder the Comic page or on her personal art page, please encourage her to do a collected edition of this book because it's wonderful. And even though I've got the 4 issues here, if she puts out a collected edition, I will definitely pick up that. So again, thank you for tuning in. Take care of yourselves. The Bubbas are telling me it's time to go right now. But take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you soon. And again, stay anti-hero strong.